Darth Revan is a legendary figure in the Star Wars universe and is one of the most iconic and complex characters in the franchise. He was originally a Jedi Knight known as just Revan, who lived during the time of the Old Republic, about 4,000 years ago, about 4,000 years before the events of the original Star Wars film. Revan was a skilled warrior and strategist who led the Jedi Order during the Mandalorian Wars against the Mandalorian warriors. During this time, Revan and his close friend and fellow Jedi Malak were seduced by the dark side of the Force. Revan and Malak became Sith Lords, leading a massive Sith empire that threatened to destroy the Republic. Revan's Sith empire was eventually defeated by the Republic, and Revan was captured and brainwashed by the Jedi Council, who erased his memories and turned him into a loyal Jedi. Revan then went on a quest to regain his memories and discover his true identity. Eventually discovering his past as a Sith Lord, Revan also discovered a powerful threat to the galaxy known as the Sith Emperor, whom he attempted to defeat with the help of a team of allies. Unfortunately, Revan was captured by the Sith Emperor and kept imprisoned for 300 years, during which time he became a legend in the Star Wars universe. Revan's legacy continued to live on long after his death, and his teachings and philosophies continued to influence the Jedi and the Sith for centuries to come. With so many major life events and changes throughout his life, he needed lightsabers that appropriately reflected who he was at those times. Blue was the first color of Revan's lightsaber. He got his blue lightsaber when he was a young Padawan with the Jedi Master Key. He wielded a standard cylindrical hilted lightsaber. Even as far back as the Old Republic times, most Jedi liked to adorn their lightsabers with blue and green hues. Although he was a Jedi, Revan's lightsaber form is Juyo, which was forbidden in the Jedi Order. During the Jedi Mandalorian War, Revan clashed with the Order in how he believed they were handling the situation, but still fought for them, and ultimately was a big reason for the Jedi's victory over the Mandalorians. The Jedi Order defeated the Mandalorians, but Revan was unable to return to them. A Sith Lord named Vitiate, working with the Mandalorians, waited for an opportunity to recruit a powerful apprentice. He used a Force ability called Mind Control on Revan and his friend Malak. He influenced their minds, making them think that they were Sith Lords, and they fell in love with their ideals and beliefs. They, as a result, created new lightsabers fit for the dark side. Both Revan's and Darth Malak's lightsaber crystals were bled, resulting into the red sabers that have become symbolistic of the Sith. Some say that after bleeding his crystals, that at some point he replaced those bled crystals with synthetic ones that were developed by the Imperial engineers. Darth Revan's new lightsaber had a silver hilt with some gold accents on the bottom, but was still the standard cylindrical shape. The same goes for Darth Malak's lightsaber, as both wielded nearly identical sabers. As Sith Lords often do, Malak betrayed Revan in the line of duty. When the Jedi Order ambushed them during a mission, he abandoned his master and fled. The Jedi Order captured Revan and changed his memory back to his previous self when he was a Jedi Knight. He forgot his life as a Sith Lord and started a new one as a Jedi Knight once again. After redeeming himself, Revan created a new green lightsaber. This saber is very similar to the one he had as a Padawan, just a little bigger and less blue. It was the same standard cylindrical hilted lightsaber. Although he is back to his Jedi ways, he still used Juyo as his lightsaber form. If you remember, even before his time as a Sith, that was always his chosen form. During one of Revan's missions, a Sith Lord captured him yet again. The Sith Lord imprisoned him and used mind control to keep him in stasis. After putting him in this state, he tormented Revan for centuries. Even after being rescued, he was still embarrassed by his time as a Sith Lord. After his rescue and dealing with his feelings about his past, he felt like it was time to reflect what he had been through and decided to create a unique purple lightsaber. Purple at this time indicates that a user has mastered both sides of the Force. He's a Jedi, but knows the ways of the dark side, and at one point himself was Darth Revan, a Sith with a dark past. That makes one think, what is the reason that Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber? We know the real world reason is because Samuel L. Jackson wanted a cool saber so that people could tell him apart from everyone else during the Battle of Geonosis in Episode 2. And what Samuel L. Jackson wants, Samuel L. Jackson gets. I mean, come on, we call him by his full name. But does what we know about Revan mean that at some point Windu was a Sith? Or is it just that he has mastered the dark side of the Force, or had a dark past himself? I hope someday we learn the canon reason that his saber was purple, whether it be a TV series, book, or comic. But honestly, it's been so long. I have a feeling that it's not something that Disney is really worried about telling, at least in a movie or TV series type of way. If they were to explore if they were to explore Mace Windu's past, I feel like it would be more suited for a comic series or maybe a book, as that it's not something that is a pressing matter in the current Star Wars universe and story, but something that could interest people that have stuck along and followed Star Wars for the past many years. And speaking of possible movie ideas, it is surprising to me that we have yet to see Revan in a live action way. So, what would you guys, who would you guys like to see play Revan, and how would you like to see him portrayed? Would you want it to be one long movie that showed his entire life from Jedi to Sith back to Jedi, the centuries of torment, the redemption, all of that? Or would you rather it be split up into, say, another trilogy that takes place even before the prequel trilogy, where each movie depicts a different era of his lifetime? I think that a trilogy would be sufficient because it would give and I would hope that Disney would not make the same mistake and they would just give the entire trilogy to one writer, one director, one group of people, so that they had the same idea, same plan, same execution throughout all three, so that they came together to make one coherent story, so that it was a good and better, not good and better, but a more accurate way to represent Revan. So I think that a trilogy would be better than just one movie, because they could take their time with three and not have to cram everything into one and cut out important parts. They could spread it out. They could make sure they hit every major point. And they would also have a pretty good amount of freedom, since although Revan does have a complex and known background, it is, to my knowledge, mostly all considered legends. So they should stick to that quite closely, but to make it canon, they could, and they might have to, but they could change a few things here and there. But I think it would be best to stay close to Legends, as it is his Legends background and information that is what makes him the character that he is right now. So, cut out that so. So, again, I hope they do decide to explore it, but I don't really have very high hopes for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe to keep the content coming, and we'll see you again. Thank you.